Okay, so today we're going to learn how to make sushi. And the first thing we have to do is prepare the rice. This is quite different than preparing American rice. For one thing, sushi rice, see, it's very short grained and it's white. We actually prefer to eat brown or red rice, but I'm going to do it the traditional way. And the Japanese don't have another word for sushi rice. To the Japanese, and this was told to me by my friend Sadako, who is Japanese and lives in Tokyo. She said we just call it rice, but because we have so many different varieties that we use in America, this is what we call sushi rice. And I always buy organic. Lundberg is a very good brand. I bought this, I think, in bulk from Earth Fare. And so the most important thing to do is to wash it. I did not realize that washing was so important until Sadako came to visit me and showed me how to do this. This helps to get rid of all the starch that is in rice. See how milky this water is? Can you see that? We are going to wash this several times and get rid of that milkiness. And that's what gives sushi rice its shininess. You know, you have these beautiful shiny rice to work with. And we're going to do a cup of it. This is a cup of rice. And even in the second washing, you can see how much of the starch has already washed off. By the way, you should start with clean hands, which I did. And I rub this between my fingers just to try to get as much of the starch off as possible. See how much clearer it is than when we first started? You just do this 4 or 5 times and that'll be good enough. It'll never become 100% clear, but you can see there's quite a bit of difference in the starchiness of this product than when we first started. So this is the last time. So now that we've rinsed the rice, we're going to do another thing that we don't typically do when we're cooking American rice. Or cooking rice the American way, so to speak. We're going to cover it with water. So I like to put a good, couple of knuckles of water in it. And we're going to let this soak for about 30 minutes. And then we'll come back and cook it. Okay, so we've let this soak. We've actually let this soak quite a long time, but 30 minutes is the minimum amount of time. And so we're going to pour off this water. And you can see how this has fluffed up and become kind of a puffy sort of rice. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to put fresh water in. And we're just going to slightly cover the rice because it's not going to absorb a lot more. Maybe slightly more than that. And then now we're going to take this and move to the stove. So I had this on the burner, and I turned it on high and brought it to a boil, and I let it boil for 1 minute. And now I've reduced the temperature to low, and we will let this cook for about 15 minutes or until all of the water has absorbed. My friend Sadako says that her method is to balance it in between temperatures, going from a high temperature for about 7 minutes and then dropping it down for 3 minutes and bringing it back up and that sort of thing. But I found that isn't really necessary. You can just allow this to simmer for about 15 minutes after your initial 1 minute boil. The Japanese have an expression that you should never take the lid off, not even if the baby is crying. And so we want to leave this on there for the full 15 minutes, and we have it at a pretty low temperature, just enough to keep it cooking, but not enough to burn the bottom. So we'll come back when the alarm goes off in 15 minutes and we'll test it. Okay, so the alarm is going off now. I'm going to turn this timer off, and we're going to check this, and this is perfectly cooked. Okay, you can see that this rice is perfectly fluffy. Now I want to show you a little trick about rice, and I'm going to move this, and we'll talk about this in just a second.